Israel and France have been in support of India in the past at international forums. Given the recent developments and provocative actions from the US against India, what changes are likely in the stance of both these nations towards India? Very good question. So, yes, now we are seeing this is the theme of today's discussion, isn't it? The theme of today's session. The change in stance of the US vis-a-vis India. The US is now taking multiple actions in a variety of ways, which all are hostile actions against India. So they are now changing their policy towards India. They are now treating India as an adversarial nation. They are treating India like an enemy now. Right? We are seeing that happening now. Like Asmita says, Israel and France have in the past more or less consistently supported India in certain matters at international forums, and there has been a lot of cooperation between India and Israel and India and France, especially from the strategic perspective and defense perspective. For instance, India and Israel have developed certain missile systems together. The Barak 8 missile, I believe, it's an anti-ship missile and an anti-missile. It's a missile defense system, and so on. And India is buying various Israeli defense products and a whole lot of other things. When it comes to India and France, India has acquired 5 French designed submarines, the Scorpion submarines, most of which were built in India itself. And there is cooperation in the Indian Ocean region from a geostrategic perspective. We are also acquiring French Rafale aircraft, yes. And there could be some other things also which may be being done right now, which we will not discuss here. So yes, India and France and India and Israel have a very good, positive, and mutually beneficial relationship, and it's been that way for a significant amount of time. Now we are witnessing the US changing its policy towards India. It's now treating India as an adversarial nation. It's essentially treating India as an enemy nation. We also know that France and Israel uh, are closely aligned with US foreign policy. France is part of NATO. France is part of the European Union. NATO is a US creation. The top dog in NATO is the US. The EU is once again a US creation. The top dog in the EU is the US. The one major power in Europe, in Western Europe, is the US. It's not Germany, it's not France, it's the US. And France is the only nation within NATO or within the EU that has a reasonably independent foreign policy. And yet, when it comes to Ukraine and other things, they are forced to support whatever the US says. Now that the US has changed its stance towards India, what's going to happen to the India France relationship? We don't know. It could go bad. It won't happen overnight, but yes, things could happen. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to speculate as to what will happen, but yeah, we have to anticipate such a thing that possibly could happen. Yeah, when it comes to Israel, like I said, it's to put it kindly, Israel is a junior partner of the US. You know, the greatest support from Israel in the world over comes from the US. Yeah, the US has ensured that Israel remains safe, and Israel is well supplied with arms, ammunition, all that. Israel obviously is a very um, entrepreneurial nation, a very enterprising nation. They've ensured that they acquire nuclear weapons on their own, most likely, yes. And they have the Samsung option. They have also developed a whole range of defense technology and all that. So it's not like they 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 have been spoon fed by the Americans. They are a very enterprising people, a very entrepreneurial people, so a nation that's worthy of a great deal of admiration, right? I think many Indians, if not most Indians, admire Israel a great deal, and yet Israel is very much aligned with US foreign policy. So if since the US has completely changed its stance towards India, we could witness uh, a change in the India-Israel relationship as well. We already know that India and Israel are on opposing sides in the Azerbaijan-Armenia conflict. Israel supports Azerbaijan, India supports Armenia. We are already on opposing sides in that. This is a very recent development. More such developments could happen. I hope that India and Israel will continue to have a warm and good, constructive, mutually beneficial, mutually uh, respectful relationship. But let's see. Right now there are too many unknowns, at play, too many parameters that we still cannot compute. So the next months, the forthcoming months, and maybe the next couple of years will bring in a great deal of clarity as to what trajectory the India-Israel relationship is going to take, and what trajectory the India-France relationship is going to take. France, no doubt, wishes that it could break free of the yoke, of the American yoke that has been placed around its neck. Yeah, but you cannot escape geography. You cannot escape that you're part of Western Europe, which is entirely ruled by the US. So France has to make do with, do the best of whatever cards the gods have dealt it. So yeah, it does operate within a great deal of, within a lot of constraints and all that. Yeah. So yeah, let's see how it goes. But I expect that there will be some kind of changes in the India-France relationship and the India-Israel relationship. I hope that both these relationships will continue to be friendly and warm and positive and mutually beneficial. That's the hope. But one has to always anticipate trouble when the Americans have changed their stance. So I hope things remain good. But let's keep a very close watch on how things go.